Hippos. They look like giant, goofy river cows, but the truth is far stranger. These animals can crush a crocodile with their jaws, run faster than a human, and even make their own sunscreen. But that's just the beginning. Today on the Mind Metrics, we're diving into 30 incredible hippo facts you had no idea about, from their secret underwater skills to their surprising connection with whales. Stick around, because what you're about to learn will completely change the way you see these river giants. Fact 1. Hippos are the third largest land animals. Only elephants and rhinos are bigger. A fully grown male, called a bull, can weigh between 3,000 and 3,200 kilograms. That's about 7,000 pounds. The weight of two mid-sized cars stacked together. Even the smaller females, known as calves, weigh between 1,300 and 1,500 kilograms, making them heavier than most American bison. Despite this bulk, their bodies are surprisingly efficient in water. Their barrel-shaped torsos hold enough air in their lungs to keep them semi-buoyant, so they can glide effortlessly below the surface. Fact 2. Hippos spend most of their lives in water. Unlike many large mammals, hippos cannot tolerate direct sun for long periods. They don't have sweat glands, so overheating is a constant risk. To survive Africa's intense daytime heat, hippos spend up to 16 hours each day submerged in rivers, lakes, and wetlands. They usually gather in large groups, called bloats or pods, that can include 10 to 30 individuals, though groups of 100 have been recorded in some areas. To an observer on the bank, a pod might look like a collection of floating logs with only their eyes, ears, and nostrils poking above the surface like little periscopes. Fact 3. Hippos produce their own sunscreen. To protect their sensitive skin, hippos secrete a thick, reddish fluid often called blood sweat. It isn't blood or sweat at all. It's a natural substance made of unique pigments, known as hipposudoric acid and norhipposudoric acid. These secretions block ultraviolet light, reducing the risk of sunburn, and also act as a natural antibiotic, preventing infections from the countless scratches and wounds hippos receive in their violent fights. Scientists are studying this secretion as a possible inspiration for new sunblock and antibacterial medicines. Fact 4. Hippos can run faster than you think. On land, hippos can reach speeds of up to 30 kilometers per hour, or about 19 miles per hour. While this doesn't sound extreme compared to a cheetah, it's shockingly fast for an animal weighing several tons. To put it in perspective, the average adult human sprints at around 12 to 15 kilometers per hour. And even a top Olympic sprinter like Usain Bolt only peaks around 37 kilometers per hour. In other words, unless you're one of the fastest humans alive, a charging hippo will catch you. Fact 5. Hippos are Africa's deadliest large animals. While lions and crocodiles get most of the attention, hippos are responsible for far more human deaths each year. Estimates suggest that hippos kill around 500 people annually, more than lions, elephants, leopards, and crocodiles combined. Why? Because hippos are incredibly territorial. Boats that drift too close to a pod are often attacked without warning. Hippos use their size, teeth, and speed to capsize canoes or bite them in half. For many riverside communities, hippos are a greater danger than any predator. Fact 6. Their jaws open wider than almost any other animal. A hippo's jaw can stretch open nearly 150 degrees, wide enough to fit a full-grown human standing upright inside. But this enormous yawn isn't a sign of relaxation. It's a dominance display. By showing off their gaping mouths and massive tusks, hippos intimidate rivals and warn intruders to back away. The tusks, which are actually elongated canine teeth, can grow up to 50 centimeters long and remain razor sharp thanks to constant grinding. Fact 7. Hippos have one of the strongest bites in the world, with a bite force of around 1,800 pounds per square inch. PSI, hippos outclass lions, tigers, and even grizzly bears. Their bite is so strong that they can crush a crocodile's skull with ease. There are documented cases of hippos biting wooden boats in half and even leaving deep dents in steel canoes. Fishermen often describe hearing the explosive sound of teeth crunching through their boats before they even realize what's happening. Fact 8. Hippos don't swim. They walk underwater. Despite being aquatic, hippos can't float well and they're too heavy to swim by, paddling like other animals. Instead, they sink to the bottom and push off with their powerful legs, moving gracefully across the riverbed in a slow-motion stride. To onlookers, it appears as if they're flying through water like astronauts in zero gravity. Fact 9, hippos can sleep underwater. Hippos have an automatic reflex that allows them to rise to the surface, inhale, and sink again, all without waking up. They can repeat this cycle every few minutes, sleeping peacefully even while completely submerged. This adaptation makes them one of the few mammals capable of unconscious breathing underwater. Fact 10, hippos are among the loudest land animals. They grunt, wheeze, and roar in a vocal display known as hippo song. Their calls can reach up to 115 decibels, as loud as a rock concert or a thunderclap. What's even stranger is that hippos can vocalize above water and below water at the same time, a rare ability that helps pods communicate across rivers. Some researchers believe they can even identify each other by the unique pitch and rhythm of their calls. Fact 11. Hippos are grazers, not hunters. Despite their deadly jaws and fearsome bite, hippos are primarily herbivores. Each night, they leave the water and travel several kilometers inland, following well-worn hippo trails to graze on grasses. A single adult can consume around 40 kilograms, that's nearly 90 pounds, of vegetation in one night. Unlike elephants, they don't eat trees or bushes, preferring short, soft grasses. But their feeding habits are so consistent that they actually shape African landscapes, keeping grasslands trimmed and healthy. Fact 12. Hippos have unusual stomachs. Like cows, hippos have multi-chambered stomachs to ferment tough grasses. But unlike cows, they don't chew cud, meaning they don't regurgitate and re-chew food. Instead, their specialized stomach lining uses bacteria to break down plant fibers. This system allows them to survive on relatively nutrient-poor grasses, fueling their massive size with efficiency that seems almost impossible. Fact 13. Baby hippos are born underwater. Calves, weighing about 45 kilograms, 100 pounds at birth, are usually delivered in shallow water. Within moments, they instinctively kick their way to the surface to breathe. Mothers are fiercely protective, shielding their calves from crocodiles, lions, and even other hippos. In the first weeks of life, calves often rest on their mother's back, riding piggyback when the water is too deep. Fact 14. Hippo calves nurse underwater. Hippo mothers produce some of the richest, fattiest milk in the mammal kingdom. Calves can drink it underwater without drowning, thanks to special muscles that close their nostrils and ears. This allows them to nurse while clinging to their mothers beneath the waterline, a life-saving adaptation in predator-filled rivers. Fact 15. Hippos can't jump. Unlike most large mammals, hippos are physically incapable of leaping. Their heavy bodies and short legs simply don't allow it. But don't be fooled into thinking this makes them clumsy. Hippos can still climb steep riverbanks, scramble up rugged terrain, and charge with terrifying speed. In water, their walking and bouncing motion makes them surprisingly agile. Fact 16. Their closest relatives are whales and dolphins. Genetic research has revealed that hippos share a common ancestor with whales and dolphins. Around 55 million years ago, this ancestor split into two branches. One returned fully to the oceans and became modern cetaceans, while the other adapted to rivers and lakes, becoming hippos. This explains some of their unusual traits, like underwater communication, dense bones for sinking, and their semi-aquatic lifestyle. Fact 17. Hippos are extremely vulnerable to heat. Because they lack sweat glands, hippos depend entirely on water and mud to stay cool. During droughts, when rivers dry up, hippos are forced into smaller pools, leading to overcrowding and skyrocketing aggression. These stressful conditions can trigger brutal fights and increase the danger to nearby humans. Fact 18. Male hippos fight like gladiators. Dominant bulls defend territories that include groups of females, and when challengers arrive, the battles are spectacular. Two hippos will clash with open jaws, trying to bite and slash each other with their tusks. These fights leave deep wounds and permanent scars. The roars, splashes, and snapping jaws of a hippo duel are said to echo like thunder across the river. Fact 19. Hippos fling dung to mark territory. When defecating, hippos rapidly wag their tails to spray dung in wide arcs, scattering it across the riverbank. This unusual behavior works like a scent marker, advertising dominance and territory. It's messy but highly effective. And in the social world of hippos, it's like writing your name on the landscape. Fact 20. Their skin is like armor. A hippo's hide can be 5 centimeters thick, making it one of the toughest natural armors in the animal kingdom. This thick skin shields them from predators and injuries during combat. In fact, in colonial times, hunters often considered hippos harder to kill than elephants because their skin could deflect bullets unless hit at the right angle. Fact 21. Hippos fertilize ecosystems. By grazing on land at night and defecating in rivers by day, hippos act as nutrient transporters. Their dung feeds fish, insects, and microorganisms, sustaining entire food chains. In some African lakes, hippos are the primary source of nutrients for fish populations, indirectly supporting the livelihoods of human communities that depend on fishing. Fact 22. They can live for decades. In the wild, hippos typically live 35 to 40 years. In captivity, with regular food and veterinary care, they can live much longer. One female hippo named Donna lived to 61 years in a U.S. zoo, setting the record as the world's oldest known hippo. Fact 23. Hippos have incredible senses. Their ears, eyes, and nostrils are all located on top of their heads, allowing them to stay almost completely submerged while still hearing, smelling, and seeing what's happening above the waterline. This design makes them stealthy guardians of their territory, able to monitor intruders while remaining hidden. Fact 24. Hippos sometimes eat meat. Though classed as herbivores, researchers have recorded rare instances of hippos scavenging carcasses, including wildebeest and even other hippos. In times of drought or scarcity, they may resort to this behavior. Scientists still debate whether it's survival-driven or simply opportunistic. Fact 25. Hippos communicate through hippo song. Their grunts and bellows aren't random noise. Each hippo's call carries unique pitch and rhythm patterns that identify individuals like names. These sounds can travel long distances through water, helping pods stay connected even across large rivers. Some calls even appear to have specific meanings, such as warnings or mating signals. Fact 26. Ancient Egyptians revered and feared hippos. In Egyptian mythology, the goddess Tauret, protector of mothers in childbirth, was depicted with the body of a hippo. Yet hippos were also feared for their destructive power, as they often raided crops and overturned boats along the Nile. This dual image, sacred yet dangerous, shows how hippos have always fascinated humans. Fact 27. The U.S. once considered importing hippos. In the early 1900s, American lawmakers proposed bringing hippos to Louisiana to control invasive water hyacinths and provide a new meat source called lake cow bacon. While the plan never came to fruition, it shows how humans once seriously considered hippos as livestock for American swamps. Fact 28. Hippos are skilled divers. They can sink to depths of 8 meters and walk along the bottom for several minutes at a time. Calves often ride on their mothers' backs until they are strong enough to dive themselves. Watching a hippo vanish beneath the surface is like seeing a submarine submerge. You never quite know where it'll reappear. Fact 29. Hippos are highly social animals. They live in pods that can include up to 30 individuals, though in some rivers these groups combine into super pods of over 100. Within the pod, there's constant drama, grunts, disputes, dominance displays, and occasional fights. But the bond between mothers and calves is particularly strong, with calves relying on their mothers for protection for several years. Fact 30. Hippos are dangerous but vital. They may look comical, but hippos are among the most aggressive, unpredictable, and deadly animals in Africa. Yet, at the same time, they are essential ecosystem engineers, shaping river systems, fertilizing waterways, and supporting countless other species. In short, hippos are both feared and revered, living proof that nature's most dangerous creatures can also be its most important. And that wraps up our deep dive into the hidden world of hippos. 30 incredible facts that prove they're not just funny-looking river giants, but powerful, fascinating animals that shape entire ecosystems. So tell me, which fact surprised you the most? Was it their bone-crushing bite, their underwater nursing calves, or maybe their secret link to whales? Drop your answer in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another fact-filled adventure from the Mind Metrics. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.